The outback, vast, desolate, unforgiving. A place where the horizon stretches endlessly and the land seems to go on forever, untouched by time. A place where the sun beats down mercilessly and the silence is deafening. The heat is so intense it feels like the very air is on fire. It whispers of ancient secrets, of forgotten souls swallowed by the red earth. The winds carry tales of those who dared to venture and never returned. It is a place where fear takes root, where shadows dance in the heat haze, and the line between reality and nightmare blurs. Mirages play tricks on the mind, making the unreal seem real. There's an unsettling beauty to the outback, a harsh allure that draws some in, only to spit them out, broken and lost. The landscape is both captivating and cruel. This is where our tale begins, under the oppressive weight of the desert night, where the stars are cold, distant witnesses to the horrors that unfold beneath them. The night brings a chilling silence, a stark contrast to the day's heat. Our protagonist, a weathered bushman named Mick, found himself stranded, his ute coughing its last breath miles from civilization. The isolation was palpable, the vast emptiness around him a constant reminder of his predicament. He cursed, the sound swallowed by the immense emptiness. His voice echoed briefly before being consumed by the void. He was alone, utterly alone, in a land that devoured the unprepared. Each step he took seemed to lead him deeper into the heart of the desolation. Little did he know his ordeal was just beginning. The outback had many more trials in store for him, each more harrowing than the last. Nightfall brought a blanket of darkness so complete it felt almost tangible. The stars were hidden behind thick clouds, and the moon offered no solace, leaving the world below in an inky void. Mick, huddled in the meagre shelter of his ute's tray, lit a fire, the flickering flames doing little to push back the encroaching shadows. The fire crackled softly, a small comfort in the vast, empty night. He ate sparingly, his gaze darting nervously into the darkness beyond the firelight. Every rustle of the wind, every distant sound set his nerves on edge. He felt it then, a prickling sensation on the back of his neck, the unsettling feeling of being watched. It was as if unseen eyes were boring into him from the shadows. He spun around, heart pounding, but saw nothing. The darkness seemed to mock him, hiding whatever presence he felt. The desert wind howled, a mournful cry that seemed to echo his growing unease. It was a sound that carried with it the weight of ancient, forgotten fears. Exhaustion eventually claimed him, but sleep offered little respite. His body was weary, but his mind remained restless, trapped in a cycle of anxiety and dread. He was plagued by nightmares, vivid, disturbing dreams of a figure standing at the edge of the firelight, its face shrouded in darkness. The figure seemed to beckon him, its presence both familiar and terrifying. He woke with a gasp. The image of a single, piercing blue eye seared into his mind. The eye was so vivid, so real, it felt as though it had been watching him even in his sleep. An eye he knew, an eye that belonged to someone he thought long dead. The realization sent a shiver down his spine, leaving him questioning the boundary between dreams and reality. Dawn broke, painting the sky in hues of blood orange and bruised purple. Mick, his nerves frayed, packed his meagre supplies. He had to find help, had to escape the oppressive silence that seemed to press down on him, whispering his name. As he walked, the oppressive silence was broken by a sound, faint at first, then growing steadily louder. It was the haunting drone of a didgeridoo, its mournful melody weaving a spell of unease. He recognized the tune, a lullaby his grandmother used to hum. A tune, she said, spoke of lost spirits and ancient curses. The music seemed to draw him forward, against his better judgment. He stumbled through the unforgiving landscape, the sun beating down relentlessly. Just as he felt he could go no further, he saw it, an aboriginal cave, its entrance adorned with ancient symbols. The didgeridoo music emanated from within, beckoning him closer. Fear warred with curiosity as Mick cautiously approached the cave. The dense bushland around him seemed to close in, amplifying the sense of isolation. Every step he took felt heavier, as if the ground itself was trying to hold him back. He called out, his voice swallowed by the darkness within. The echo returned, distorted and eerie, making him shiver. It was as if the cave was mocking his attempt to reach out. Taking a deep breath, he stepped inside. The air was cool and damp, carrying a musty scent that hinted at the cave's ancient secrets. The didgeridoo music abruptly stopped, replaced by an oppressive silence that was somehow louder, more menacing. It was as if the cave itself was holding its breath, waiting for something. He fumbled for his lighter, the small flame doing little to penetrate the thick darkness. Shadows danced on the walls, creating fleeting shapes that played tricks on his mind. As his eyes adjusted, he saw them. Drawings on the cave walls, ancient depictions of spirits and creatures from the dream time. The artwork seemed to come alive in the flickering light, telling stories of a time long past. And then he saw it, a face staring back at him from the wall, its single blue eye burning with an eerie light. The gaze was intense, almost as if it was looking into his very soul. It was the face from his dreams, the face of his long-dead brother, lost years ago to the unforgiving outback. The realization hit him like a punch to the gut, leaving him breathless. Panic welled up inside him. His heart raced and his breathing became shallow. The walls seemed to close in, suffocating him with their oppressive presence. He stumbled back, desperate to escape the confines of the cave, the accusing stare of his brother's painted image. His mind screamed at him to run, but his legs felt like lead. But the entrance was gone, replaced by a solid wall of rock. The realization that he was trapped hit him hard, a cold dread settling in his stomach. He was trapped, alone in the darkness with the ghosts of his past. The cave had become a prison, and the spirits within seemed to whisper his fate.